welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. So last week, or a couple weeks ago, I posted a video on how to get your right and left splits and over splits, and I included my 5 favorite stretches to do so. And this weekend, I'm going to be showing you guys my whole sequence of stretches that I do to help me loosen up my hips before I go into my middle split. So I'm going to be sharing that with you guys today, and I've seen a lot of improvements by doing these stretches, and I'm hopeful that you will too. And this video is also a follow along, so if you would like to, you can stretch with me today. And also, I highly recommend that you warm up before you stretch anytime. So if you haven't warmed up already and you want something to follow along to, I will link my warm-up video in the description. But if you have already warmed up, then it's time to get started. Alright, so the first stretch I'm going to show you guys is deep plies. So in this position, or this exercise, you're going to spread your feet out about like in a squat kind of position, that kind of thing. And your arms go up and down. So you're going to do 6 of these, and this just helps kind of open up your hips a little bit, starts the stretching process. So we're gonna do 6 of these starting now. And then from this position, you bring your arms down and back up here. And then I like to do a flat back, and then I'm just gonna tell you guys this next sequence because it's going to be hard for me to talk while I'm upside down. So we're going to go into a flat back, and then put your arms on the floor, and if you can, try to get your elbows and your forearm on the ground. And then in that position, I like to grab onto my ankles and try and pull my head through my legs. And then I do the same thing, but I put my arms through my legs and try to reach back as far as I can. And then I also like to rock back and forth and just let my arms kind of dangle. And then in that position, I also do 5 or 6, however many you want to do, plies. I'm going to start with the flat back, and then I'll do the rest of the sequence. Is going to be a squat in this position, and you're going to hold it here, and well, actually I should call it a plie. You're going to hold it here, and I like to keep my elbows up against my knee kind of here so I can push them back. And then I also like to take my right hand and push back my right knee and do the same thing with my left. Is a side lunge. So you can do this either with a pointed foot or a flexed foot. I'm going to do it with a pointed foot. So we're going to do 5 of these on each leg and push back our right knee on one of them. And I'm doing the Anna McNulty challenge to help get my middle splits. And I just incorporate those stretches that she does into my stretching routine. So a couple of those stretches are going to be in here, and yeah. And the objective here is to get your full leg on the ground. Next, we're going to switch, and we're going to push back our left knee. And with any stretch, really focus on your breathing and breathe deeply so you can get lower into the stretch. All right, we're gonna continue these side lunges, and we're gonna do 4 more on each side. All right, the next thing I do is come back to this plie position. Kind of just hold it here, push back my knees so I open up my hips. And the next thing I'm going to do is a straddle. So I like to do a straddle without yoga blocks, and then the second time I do it with yoga blocks. So you can choose to do it with or without. You can do it just without. You can do it just with yoga blocks. Doesn't matter, but I like to do both. So first, I come into my straddle and I flex and point my feet 4 times. So this counts as 1. I'm looking at those. And then 2, 3, 4. And try and keep your heels off the ground if you can. Okay, now I go back into my straddle and kind of reposition myself with pointed feet. And I'm going to kind of shift over to the left and then all the way over to the right. And you don't want to close this off like this. You want to really feel a nice stretch in your side and really nice and open. Next, I'm going to switch or twist a little bit and then go over top of my leg. And in both of those stretches, try not to lift up your opposing hip. And even if you're up here, that's completely fine. Just make sure that you're feeling a stretch and keeping both hips down. Next, we're going to reach to the inside of your leg. And then we're going to reach to the center. But I like to do, I don't know how to explain it, but basically you try and hold your core and lean forward, but without touching the ground, and then come back up. So I do 2 of those, and on the last one, I reach forward. Yes, these are difficult, but it's really good for your core strength. Okay, last one. This time we're holding it. And try not to let your knees or your legs turn in too much when you're leaning forward. Try and keep your knees up to the ceiling. All right, now I'm going to readjust. And we're going to do all of that on the left side. Alright, the next stretch we're going to do is butterfly. So, all you're going to do is bend your knees so that your feet are touching, and try and get your legs down to the ground. And we're kind of just going to flap our legs a little bit so that we kind of just really feel a nice stretch. Alright, next I'm going to push down on my right knee, with my right hand, and with my left leg, I'm going to try and push that down just with my leg muscles. And I'm going to switch sides, do the same thing. And then the stretch from the Anna McNulty challenge was to push both legs down with both hands, but I find that a lot more difficult, so I do try to do that, but I also like to do the one hand. But if you can, try and push down with both legs, or both hands. And then I also like to bend over forward and push down my legs with my elbows. Alright, we're also going to do this stretch. So put one hand on the ground and the other one over like this. Now we're going to switch to the other side. And lastly, in this position, we're going to reach up and reach forward. Really breathe deeply in this stretch so that you get even farther. Alright, next we are going to do a straddle, but with yoga blocks. So I just have these two here, and I'm going to place them at the end of my yoga mat and put my heels on them and go as far as I can into my straddle. And I'm going to do all the same stretches I did in this straddle, except for the leaning forward, because I feel like that hurts my knees, to be honest with you. But feel free to do that stretch as well. Alright, the next stretch we're going to do can get a little bit, well, I was going to say dangerous, but not really. You just have to be careful. So I like to do my middle splits with two yoga blocks. So I have one over here and one on the other side. I feel like this really stretches my hips nice, but first of all, I highly recommend that you've been warmed up, because it will help you get deeper into the stretch and it will help prevent injury. But I also highly recommend consulting with your dance teacher about whether or not you should be doing over splits. I am extremely close to my middle splits, so I feel like it's a little bit less risky for me to be doing this. But if you are like not that close, I don't recommend doing the over splits. But if you're looking to just like get that much farther, then I would say that it's okay, because it helps kind of get you farther into the stretch and get closer. But like I said, if you're really not close, then I don't recommend doing this. So I'm going to set up my yoga blocks on either end of my yoga mat and just put my feet on them and go into my middle split. Now, if you're not all the way down like me, don't worry about it. Just go until you feel the stretch. the next stretch is going to be kind of the same thing, except I'm stacking 2 yoga blocks on top of each other and putting one leg on the yoga block. Again, I would consult your dance teacher so that you're not hurting yourself, but if you think you are capable and you can handle it, feel free to do so. So I just put my right foot on it. Okay, so my video got cut off, but basically all I do is just put one foot on the 2 yoga blocks and then slide down into my middle splits like this. And make sure that you do both sides. So just one foot on top and then slide right down. Alright, I'm going to do the other side. I'm not sure why my video cut off, but I think it was because my video was getting way too long, so that's okay. And you can't see me, but that's alright because I explained it. So just go down into your split. Alright, now you can totally stop there and go right into your middle splits after this, but since I'm doing the Anna McNulty challenge, I like to do a wall split. So I'm going to rearrange my camera setup and I will show you that. So I'm going to show you guys how to do the wall split. So basically all you're going to do is sit on the ground with your feet touching a wall and slide into a straddle. And you want to get as close as you can. Alright, the next stretch is going to be pretty similar, but you're laying on your back with your legs up, and then you, what am I trying to say? Oh my gosh. You bring your legs out down into like a straddle, and all you do is hold it there and try and push your legs down. So basically, you get into it like this, or at least I do. Actually, hold on a second. And then all you're gonna do is bring your legs down like this as far as you can. And that is how you do that stretch. I will probably edit that out because that was awfully not elegant. And the last thing that you're going to do is try your middle splits. Alright, I'm going to go into my middle splits, and yeah. I am pretty much there. There's just like a little bit to go, but I'm pretty close, and I'm really happy with that. I've been trying to get my middle splits for a very long time, so I'm really glad that I'm seeing improvements. And I highly recommend that you go check out the Anna McNulty challenge. She just posted a new one actually to get your needle, but she also does the middle split one, which I think has really helped me get farther into my middle splits. And yeah, so if you're watching, thanks. That is it for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful, and once again you can share your results with me on Instagram using the hashtag #SplitGoals. And yeah, so I hope you guys get your middle splits, and I will see you guys in my next video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that every time I upload a new video, you will be one of the first to know. And also, if you enjoyed, please give it a big thumbs up, feel free to comment, and yeah, bye guys!